waiting to go with game number 2, match number 2, as we go into Summoner's Rift. Team Flash on blue, EVOS on red.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a flip around as well, kind of complementing the fact that they flipped around their lineups here. So coming out of the gate here, I think TF is having a much more aggressive position here, especially with the Riven being that far in front here. Perhaps they want to try to keep that Zed suppressed or perhaps defend against possible incursions. It looks like no incursions did happen from the side of EVOS until just now with the Renekton just scanning around to see if we can catch someone a little bit unaware of the red buff, but no one to be found from Team Flash's side, so the Renekton retreats back up onto the Baron lane.
Alright, so looking at Team Flash as well as EVOS, early on in the early stages of the game here may signify that, oh wait, Shy actually gets hit up quite a bit here by Tipper. Tipper is actually very dangerous on this Renekton here, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't let Valdez
behind. So let's have a look at that kill one more time. I mean, the Coyote was very caught up with G4 and didn't realize the supporter was around a corner. So I think that lack of awareness pretty much was the downfall there. But it was also because they were really trying to scrap in that middle there, and they were just really trying to prevent themselves from getting those kills. So I think they kind of let up a little bit. They thought that the EVOS was going to back up, but no, EVOS continued to keep the aggression going and keep that pressure on the mid lane.
Right, so looking at EVOS, oh wait, almost hits the binding there onto VVV. Luckily enough, it wasn't in favor of VVV getting hit, but we do see that Valdez right now playing towards the bottom side here, which signifies that at about the 5-minute mark is when the Drake is about to be ready to spawn in. So I'm thinking that all of these teams from TF as well as EVOS now getting ready to set up for the big objectives here, or even the trade objectives.
Yeah, well, still mostly holding a line from now. Ellie and Empty continuing their laning phase here against the Morgana and the Galio. Galio now recalls back, so Morgana instead is going to try to focus more on getting that farm from the jungle. Zed in the meantime on G4 continue to be quite a bit unopposed here in the middle, not really facing a lot of pressure there, and that's going to be working wonders with Zed's farm. Shy in the meantime thinking he might have an opportunity against Tipper, tries to finish him off, but not in time before Valdez comes in for the rescue, taking down the Darius, and that's 2 kills now going to the side of EVOS.
Yeah. So for looking at Team Flash here, not a very good start for the 5-minute mark. Looking at how EVOS is actually holding on towards an early advantage. Not entirely a huge one in terms of goal, but the 2-kill advantage here. It seems that shades of game
extra
number
pickups
1.
here. Shy might be next on the menu, but then here comes Zaizu for the save as Tipper is going to be forced to back up. Supporter is going to be taking the brunt of an attack, and unfortunately the Galio cannot survive that. Now that the pickup is out of the way, this means that the Rift Herald might be right for the picking, and Zaizu starts it here for TF, virtually facing no competition with EVOS because now they're focused on the Drake instead. It's going to be the Ocean Drake up for grabs now as Empty attempts to try to interrupt them alongside with one member that the Riven gets picked off. Unfortunately, while trying to take out VVV, didn't succeed in that regard. Now Ellie might fall next though, because Valdez has found a target here, found a straggler. The barrier is going to be able to keep her alive a little bit, but Valdez puts in the finishing touch and takes out the Lux.
Very unfortunate there over the top side here. We're going to be seeing EVOS right now coming back very strong, stronger than ever here. May actually drop the pipe bomb on towards a Team Flash. 6 for 1 in terms of kills here in favor of EVOS, and it tells a whole different story with 3k goal advantage building in the favor of the Thailand regional team.
Oh, I think EVOS wasn't able to finish off the tier 1 turret, and they already have to back off a bit because the minions are not there to help them with, and the Darius is already back into the top lane. So in the meantime, I mean, EVOS has already taken some really good objectives so far. It's just that the turrets continue to elude them at this point. And then especially now that they're ahead, it's quite vital for them to be able to increase the pressure on these lanes and increase the gulf between them and TF, and hopefully be able to set themselves up in a way more favorable position by mid-game. Ellie and Empty attempting to try and stave off this attack, but Valdez tries to go for the jump. Didn't quite lock down the Gragas though, but perhaps there might be an opening for the bottom lane instead, because G4 has got Coyote dead to rights until Zaizu jumps in, but still the bleed comes through and the Riven still falls. and the EVOS will be backing out of that fight, so there's no chances for them to even get a trade. As now Shy is going to get jumped upon by Supporter
and Shy.
Yeah, that's a Rift Herald charge. Unfortunately, had to break off this engagement a little bit, but Supporter is going to continue to chase because he sees Zaizu is low and he still desperately wants to get the trade. Valdez goes in and picks up the kill instead, though, and that's a good shut up because now that's going to leave Shy completely exposed. He does manage to keep himself alive for a little bit, but the Darius is not long for the world, even with the support of the Gragas around the corner here. And unfortunately, he just had to watch two of his mates die, and not a thing he could do.
All right, so looking at how this is working out for EVOS, it seems that if they just keep repeating this tempo, if they keep repeating this aggression, then it's going to be a hard time for members of Team Team Flash to actually give a little bit of to get a little bit of breathing room compared to EVOS here. They need to slow down. Not to say they need to slow down, they need to wrestle away a little bit of the control that EVOS is, that EVOS is imposing onto its members of Team Flash.
Yeah, so at this point right now, very much clearly ahead is EVOS here. I mean, the level 10 across the board for Tipper, Valdez, and G4. I mean, the Rift Herald coming up soon. I think it's going to be time for a fight very soon. G4 is going to get caught up in an ambush, though, as Coyote and Empty were waiting in the wings there to get that Zed. And now that he's down and out for the count, looks like TF is going to be left scrambling. EVO is going to be left scrambling to see if he can get a trade. Valdez moves in for the kill now. Coyote is a little bit low, and VVV and Valdez continue to chase. Valdez gets a jump to Lee Sin, taking out the Riven one more time there. There's so many kills that the Riven has actually conceded here from Team Flash.
I really like the fact that EVOS right now, Valdez is starting to pop off. Comparatively in game number 1, he felt like there was a little bit of agency being taken away from him, mostly because of Zissou being very, very disruptive indeed. Now that Zissou is playing as the Kha'Zix here, it seems that the limitations that Valdez is aware about with Kha'Zix there is working in favor of Valdez, despite the fact that Valdez is playing Lee Sin. Lee Sin is very, very determined on whether or not you're able to hit all of his skill shots, as well as the killing, as well as the windows here comparatively to Zissou. So there's a lot of situations where sometimes it could be Zissou that wins the jungle trade, or it could be Valdez that wins it, but it's very skill matchup. But because the fact that Valdez has spent quite a bit of time helping other lanes comparatively to interacting with Zissou, keeping the interactions minimal, that's the reason why he's popping off. G4 now in a lot of trouble.
He almost managed to finish out Coyote, but he lets Tipper and Valdez do the finishing touch there that time. And for the most part, the Zed is just playing that role of just dragging that attention there and then allowing
as Empty if they weren't too careful. But look at that
Coyote got caught out in the middle there. Riven yet again conceding what looks like to be his 6th death so far. I mean, they've just been suppressing this Riven all throughout this game, and you know that combined with the fact that both Shy and Zaizu are underperforming is just compounding the problem now for TF as they're desperate to try to get trades but just not able to find openings. Andy's going to get dragged into another fight here though, and that's going to force TF to try to respond with the barriers and everything else, all but the kitchen sink to try to keep the Gragas alive. But then EVOS now focuses their attention onto objectives here. That forces TF's hand to try to come in for the defense, and now again they jump on the Gragas once more. The Lux ultimate doesn't quite land its mark onto Empty though, but EVOS has already taken the turret. They already have the objective. They have no reason to stay on the fight.
All right, so looking at what's it called? Looking at how Team Flash is on the back foot here, I feel that I mean, it's just really, really hard for them to actually get back the control, mostly because EVOS is kind of like really ahead to a point where even if they don't engage properly, or maybe it could be a lackluster type of team fight, EVOS could actually still be able to... Oh my goodness.
G4 was in position there where Zaizu jumped out of the pit, but unfortunately without the lockdowns here, it's just mostly going to be a very unvaluable fight there to take anyway.
Flash. I felt like they could have supplemented, not to say supplemented, they could have replaced Zissou's Kha'Zix pick with something better, I feel. But look at that.
I mean, he really would be wishing he's playing something else than Kha'Zix at this point, because it said he's going to be able to bring the dead onto the little cockroach there. And that's just going to be another kill to add to the list here. The really long list that EVOS has built up over the last 16 minutes. 15-2 is a scoreline at the moment. This goes to show how dominant EVOS has been in this second game here. I mean, the non-factors in the form of Zissou and Shy certainly made it very hard for TF at this point. So one wonders what could they kind of do to regain that ground, because EVOS now will be taking their next Drake, and virtually unopposed at this point is that Lee Sin. I mean, he had 0 deaths so far. Has been just earning all of the kills, almost a lot of the kills, the majority of the kills, I think, from EVOS' side.
All right, so looking at how EVOS is actually, final spark there coming out from Ellie. A little bit too little, too late here. But Valdez will be able to take it away. I'm thinking that with 3 turrets, 3 Drakes in their pocket, already. I'm thinking that EVOS now can literally play. They can literally just roll their face on the phone and still win out. You know, look at that G4 immediately there goes in. The damage is really good. Goes golden. Is our dear Zissou there, but Zissou most probably going to get exploded there. Gets taken down. Very beautiful godlike there coming out from the side of Valdez. Final Spark comes out onto 1. Will not be able to land. G4 gets taken very, very low, but will be able to walk away. Luckily enough, it was not enough per tick damage, and G4 walks away the victor.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, you know, the EVOS can still make a mistake at this point and still be relatively ahead of TF. So
there was the literal example.
A literal example right there.
You know,
I mean, it was really didn't matter that they were sloppy in that fight. So, I mean, that just compounds the problem, because TF has to play absolutely perfect in order to counteract this. And with the Gragas being caught out here, there's no way they're going to be able to deal with this Baron here. So that's yet another objective. I mean, that's almost a trifecta, the quadrifecta of objectives that's been picked up now from EVOS. And that's already, I think, might just be the final nail in the coffin here. I mean, TF, how can they deal with this? Super minions, oh no, not super minions, but buffed up minions thanks to the Baron. It's going to make these lane pressures even more unbearable.
All right, so from the EVOS perspective here, I'm thinking that they just want... I think it's the beginning of the end, right? Just like the song would say, beginning of the end for the side of Team Flash. Realistically, what Team Flash needs to do is they need to wait out the Baron buff. They need to make sure that they just don't pull the trigger, and they need to fight very, very slowly against members of EVOS. They need to dodge everything. But look at that. Immediately, Zissou gets taken down, and I don't even know why he was there. I mean, at this point, you know Baron is coming in. You know they're going to be knocking. You want to be playing within the walls of your base. But it seems that Team Flash doesn't seem to understand that concept. But we are going to be seeing another one get taken down here.
Yeah, Coyote picks off there. That's going to be 35 50 seconds, 1 whole minute out. I don't think TF is going to be able to survive this onslaught here, even though EVOS is still taking a lot of damage. The barriers keep Tipper alive and allow him to re-heal. VVV is going to get isolated a little bit, but Tipper gets picked up by Valdez very, very quickly, and that is going to allow the Nexus to be taken, and EVOS makes it a straight 1-1 series here in this second matchup.